Agency in Motion Continuing Education Series. This is a series that was specifically designed and continuing on for agents, producers, advisors, agency builders in the financial services industry. Today's episode centers around, there are 3 P's of business success. And the one that we're going to concentrate on today is the first and most important P of your business, which is going to be people. If you don't have people, you don't have a business. If you don't have leads, you don't have a business. So guys can kind of see why people is going to be the cornerstone of a successful business or a business that ends up failing. Everybody in the industry is doing different things, but we should all be either into a digital marketing environment as a digital marketing organization or starting to take some of our business over to the digital side. This is extremely important. This is the dividing line. And up till now, it might have been a nice to have item in your business. It is imperative going forward, because if you're not adopting new technologies, if you're not bringing an online presence, then simply what happens is, over time, you're just putting yourself in a position to get potentially left behind. So if you're successful in an old school model, you need to adopt some new school marketing assets so that you can make that transition. I'm not saying totally leave your business on the traditional side behind, but you have to adapt. You have to bring in these new technologies. You have to have an online presence, because if you don't, like I said, over time, you are going to get left behind by the industry, because people don't buy goods and services. They're going to buy relationships, stories, and magic. It's still the same in the traditional model, but going over to the online version, you look at these assets like LinkedIn. It's no longer like an online resume. It's your digital reputation. So as you're looking at platforms like LinkedIn, like Facebook, like YouTube, understand these can be huge assets for you if you put some time, energy, resources into developing those to give yourself an online identity, an online reputation. And for people that are wanting to do business with you, this is so important. When they can find you online, when they can find your assets online, it starts to build rapport, trust, and credibility. You do not want to be a secret agent. And this is so important. You cannot just get into a digital marketing environment. You can't go online and start doing business and not be found, not be heard, not be seen. So there's so many people in this industry that don't understand you have to be seen and you have to be heard every single day. A secret agent is an agent that makes no money, has no appointments, has no leads, has no business, and eventually drifts and quits, and then probably blames it on the industry or the opportunity that we're in. When you are working with people, when you are working with partners or clients, one of the things that you have to do is frame conversations to describe the relationship, whether you're in the marketing position of the timeline, or whether they've already become a client or a partner. You have to continue to describe the relationship. What are you doing? What are they doing? How are you guys going to benefit each other to form a mutually beneficial relationship? Your job is just to get in front of people and get the word out. Because if you take a step back from your products and services and understand what people want, they want a legitimate path, a legitimate way, and someone who's going to show them how to get ahead. So if you're in the constant mindset of conversation and communicating with people in the outside marketplace about how to get ahead, you're going to have some good conversations versus the traditional pitch sell of products, services, and opportunities. When you are speaking to people, you have to also take a step back and understand, every once in a while, evaluate what's really going on in your conversations. If your conversations are long and confusing and they don't end up really with a next action step, or they don't really end up anywhere at all, kind of like a dog chasing its tail, then you have to change that. Because if people are confused in your communication, the next action step that you obviously want them to take, they're not going to understand why they take it, why they should take it, when they should take it, and obviously they're not going to take it. Your primary goal in these upfront conversations, because this is a contact business, it's the people business. So when you are talking to people, your ultimate goal is to talk to the right type of people in a meaningful way, in a clear, articulate way that creates what we call a light bulb moment, where now you are starting to show them a way, teach them how to get ahead. The language, the communication, the conversation they're having is creating a light bulb moment. If you get good at that, it just becomes a sorting process, because who can you turn the light bulb moment on for and who can you not turn it off for? Because that's going to be your clear indicator of, this person is in my persona, this person who I work with, they're willing to be helped, they're able to be helped, and they're wanting to be helped. And really, it all comes back, guys, and we preach this every single time that we get in front of our partners, is you have to develop profiles, personas of who you want to talk to and why. A client persona, a partner persona, because once again, if you're having random conversations with random people and creating random outcomes, this becomes a very tiresome process versus I'm talking the same type of people every day. I know exactly where they are. I know what my message is. I know that a certain percentage of those people, my message is going to resonate with them, and they're going to raise their hand and want to know more about the things I'm talking about, like what we just talked about, how to get ahead and things like that. You just want to be asking questions. Asking questions demands answers from the other side. It demands participation from the other side. If you're doing most of the talking, think about when other people talk to you. If they just go on and on, seconds into the conversation, you're probably tuning out, thinking about something you have to do, thinking about something you have to get accomplished. Same thing here. It's like a ping pong match, tennis match. It's got to go back and forth. If there's not participation from the other side, then what you're saying or what you're trying to convey in the communication is just going to fall short every single time. Now, networking is different. Networking is just having open conversations, people. Remember, showing interest in other people to build interest in what you do and interjecting yourself in the conversation at the right time. But if you're talking about developing those upfront questions, those proposition questions, you want to develop those in a way that you can just go through the numbers. Because look, on column 1, this is somebody who doesn't have a design communication style. They don't have those questions ready. And their sorting process becomes very convoluted. Why? Because on the front side of their conversations, they spent over an hour trying to sort these people and see if we can help them, if they want to be helped, versus having a clearly defined way that you can get in front of people with questions that demand an answer where you can start sorting them. Person in column 2 took 10 minutes to get through the same 5 people, the same upfront 5 conversations. So once again, your time is one of your most valuable assets that you have. Understand the investment of time that you're making has to be in a way that's going to get you a return. Front side, just a lot of talking. Column 2 is a direct question, propositioning them for more information. And sometimes it can be as simple and as stupid sounding as just, hey, would you rather pay more or less taxes in retirement? Would you rather have more retirement or less retirement money? Would you rather pay the bank, more interest or less interest on your mortgage? Would you rather? Those are propositioning questions. That gets the conversation going. That demands an answer from the other side. You have to attract people that are focused on a growth mindset in order to be successful. That's partners, that's clients, that starts with yourself. If you focus and you adopt a growth mindset, you're going to be able to talk about the growth mindset and attract people with growth mindsets versus not being in this lane, not understanding the importance of it in the way to be successful and implementing that. That means visualizing what you want. If you have a vision board and you're constantly looking at things that you want, it's a lot easier to teach your clients and your partners how to do the same. Remember, if they don't know what they want, how are you going to help them get nowhere? If they don't want to go anywhere, they don't need your help. So we have to visualize what is it that we're trying to accomplish for ourselves, and then we have to teach other people how to do the same thing. It's real simple, guys. In life, whether it's personally or professionally, figure out what you want, work hard, be accountable, and then gain the victory, gain the sweet success from the other side. This is what it's going to take. And this is when you're talking to people. It's really simple. Where are they now? Where do they want to be? How are they going to get there? How long is it going to take? Remember, if they don't have goals, they don't have financial destinations, they don't have financial dreams on the partner side, they don't have professional goals, they don't have business goals, they don't have sales goals, they don't have business growth goals, you're talking to the wrong person. Inside your communication, yes, the power of possibility and the fear of missing out are two very, very important emotional factors in conversation, but you don't want to plug these into people that aren't in your persona. because this is a track. Now you're taking something that's towards the end of the conversation, inserting it at the wrong place with the wrong people, because this is to get the right person or the right people that have interest over to the committed side. Everything you do and everything your partners do and everything your clients do, either the lack of or the activity creates momentum or a lack of momentum. So marketing, conversations, recruiting, sales, your business tier activity, just like we teach our clients that money compounds, so does your activity. So this is something that you have to adopt alongside with other things that we're talking about. Create momentum for yourself, and then not only ask for the momentum from your clients and partners, but demand it. If they're not moving forward, that lack of forward motion feels like the walls are closing in, and that's going to be problematic for their mental state and their ability to move forward in a confident way. Look at your business from the perspective of a venture capitalist. So let's say somebody was going to invest money in your business. They're looking at your business from an outside perspective, just at the business plan, the business model, what you do, what you produce. Look at your business in the same way and do a business plan review. This is one of the greatest ways that you can understand your business from a different perspective. Don't look at it from a first party. Get outside the bubble, get outside the circle, and look at what's going on in your business, because success in your business comes from leverage, understanding leverage and learning how to use it. That's leadership, that's clients, that's partners and professionals, that's your products and your providers, your vendors, your marketers, technology and social media and tools. If you have a toolbox that creates success for your business, you need to understand what's in your toolbox, and you need to understand how to leverage that stuff in your toolbox to create success. And then once you understand how to create success and how to leverage these tools, you can introduce these to other people in a meaningful way that will help them understand the same thing that we're talking about now, how to use this stuff to become successful. One of the things that is really, really attractive for a business like this, when we realize that we can take our assets online, that we can scale our business, we can grow our business to be nationwide, you want to look at from an outsider's perspective, hey, what's the point of resistance for scalability for my business? That is a major point of emphasis for a venture capitalist looking to invest money in a business. What's the point of resistance for scalability? Number one, does anybody care about this product or service? And then number two, what's the point of resistance for scalability? Here, you don't have a lot of resistance. It goes back to the first and most important P of your business. It's the people. You find the right people, put them in the right places, your business will be booming, it will be abundant, and it will be affluent. It will be something you'll be extremely proud of, and that manifests on top of each other. You start to, from that natural success, start to attract more and more people. Inside an industry like ours, financial services, insurance, and all these things, huge businesses, but you see that there's trouble standing out. So what we tell you guys is that a business can be revolutionary or a business can be like everything else. Revolutionary means you have something different, you innovate, you stand alone, you separate yourself from the crowd. Like everything else means you have to compete. Remember, if you're selling the same product and services and there's no way to really discount the price or change the price, you're selling the same type of products, then you need to position yourself to separate yourself from the crowd. You don't have to compete with everybody in this industry. You want to do something that separates yourself from the crowd, and that comes from innovation. Does the business plan work? If the business plan works, and our business plan does work, and you have something to bring to the marketplace that works, that's effective, that's needed, that's wanted, that's desired by the marketplace, then all you've done is you define the business problem for your clients, your partners, and yourself. You've ushered in a solution, you tested that solution, and that solution is either going to work, which means you continue on, or it doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board. Don't take a business plan that doesn't work and try to force it into the market. That is going to be the worst possible place for you to be, because you're going to work very hard. It's going to be a tiresome journey, and it's not going to produce any results at all. For yourself, for your partners and for your clients. You guys, all of us, everybody needs to be beginning with the end in mind, the exit strategy. So if you're getting your clients to some retirement goal, to a debt freedom goal, to an asset accumulation goal, we need to start with the finish in mind, because that's where we're trying to get to. Remember, if you're going on a road trip, you can't just plug one of the coordinates in the GPS. You got to plug both of them in to understand where you're starting and where you're trying to go. Same thing with money and finances. Where are we trying to get to? What's the end destination? What's the desired financial end outcome? And how are we going to get there? That's the easiest way to outline everything that you do for yourself, your partners, and your clients, and then surround yourself with the right team. Hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Remember, one of the things that you have to do as a leader in your organization, if you're going to grow and scale it, is you have to be able to go out and explain to people, partners especially, what your mission is, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're doing, what you need them for. And once again, just like on the client side, if your partners buy into your mission, buy into your vision, buy into your ability to help them reach their own goals, organizational goals are just a bunch of collection of individual goals. So understand, if you have something that you put in place that works, that you can bring to the marketplace, then it's all about your ability just to sell that vision to other people, making sure, once again, that you're not bringing in the wrong people, not people that need your time, people that deserve your time. You don't need thousands and thousands of people. You need 7 to 10 core business partners to really get your financial services business up off the ground and running. Now, these aren't the first 7 to 10 that come through the door. This is 7 to 10 quality core business partners. This will begin to build distribution. Really, you should be concentrating on what you need to accomplish first, which is, if you're going to bring in an agency growth on a branch level of 10 partners and 10 clients per month, you're responsible for 30% of that. If you don't get your 30% done, well, guess what? You're not going to meet the organization goals, and other people that are looking at you while you're laying this out saying, well, you're not hitting yours. So understand that 30% of what you do belongs to you. The other 70% is going to go from, bringing in the right partners, training them, and helping them reach their goals. You guys are always one recruit away from explosive growth. Now, that you also can be many, many recruits away from nothing. So it goes back to the core persona, bringing in the right people, and having a legitimate business model that can help the right people, start to activate, produce, and if they're happy and they're making money, they're going to be retained inside your organization. The partner and the client side can be just probabilities, and your job is to sort. The quicker you sort and disqualify, the easier this job becomes. If you find something that disqualifies somebody in the first 10 or 15 seconds of the conversation, you should end it right there. You have no need to go on and on and on for somebody that you've disqualified. So whether you disqualify them in the first 10 seconds or the first 10 minutes, once that disqualification event happens, move on. You can't take a red ball and expect it to become green by talking to it continuously more often. It's just a process. Bring in the right people. This becomes a lot easier. Bring in just the masses to see who sticks. This becomes a lot harder. Everybody's wired different, you guys. It's okay. It makes the world go around. We need everybody, different types of professionals. There's self-employed, W-2, blue collar, white collar. That's what makes the world go around. Don't try to force pieces that don't fit on the client and partner side. And your business is very fluid. The conversation can go back and forth. Maybe somebody's been disqualified on part of the business, but they're qualified. There's some way you can help them on the client side. Understand your business is fluid. Your conversations can be fluid, but everybody's wired differently. Don't try to force pieces that don't fit. And also, as you're talking to people, somebody may be relatively new to the industry. So people coming in are going to be surrounded by seasoned entrepreneurs, industry veterans, successful people that can help them grow and develop. And we get paid to do so. We have an organizational and management hierarchy. We get paid to train and develop people until they become independent. So explain that to them. Understand, there are the hard facts of the business, but there are also some soft facts. These are the soft facts. They're going to be, surrounded with people that are going to help you grow and develop on many different levels, because being a financial partner, finding success in this industry, there's an evolution of that partner and they're going to be very, very dependent on you in the beginning. They're going to have a lot of questions, need a lot of help, not know where anything is. If you're the type of person that gets annoyed by that, shouldn't be building a business, because people are going to need you. And through that hand holding, they become interdependent, which means now they don't need everything from you. They've got a general idea of what to do. They're going forward. And now it's more about just coaching and mentoring. And then at a certain point, you've done your job. You still have a personal relationship with them, still have a professional relationship with them, but they become independent. They don't need you. So understand, you get paid to do this. If you're going to get annoyed on the front side by questions, then you're not wired to build a business and manage people. Becoming comfortable with conversations and how to demonstrate the value you speak with. Remember, once you've sorted the people, once you've disqualified and qualified, if somebody's making that jump, if they're not an entrepreneur, taking that jump can be scary. If you guys remember when you took the jump, understand where they're coming from, but be strong in your conviction. Remember, if you understand what this opportunity can afford a client, a partner, especially on the partner side, to reach their goals and dreams, and they're scared about making that jump, understand we create a bridge. We champion the cause of part-timers. We can help them in a realistic way, create that bridge and walk over it. They're starting from scratch, but you need to understand, what is the value of the assets, the tools, the infrastructure, the assistance, the leadership, the direction. Learn to talk about value both now as they come in, as well as tomorrow, and next week, next month, next year. Income calculators, I don't like. Income calculators are something that should be used on an individual level. Every company has an income calculator. You can put in whatever numbers you want and calculate these large payouts, but it goes back to what we always talk about. That's going to come from the understanding of your assets, understanding what to do, the business model, having the activity with intensity, understanding that we're going to be accountable going forward. If you do what you need to do, the income calculator should be a supplemental tool just to help you forecast. Really, what you want to provide people, whether it's a client or a partner, is a blueprint for success. If people understand that you can lead them to where they want to go, the floodgates will open for your business. Basically, you should be teaching people what they need to know, which is how to get ahead, and then how to do that. So the information plus the execution, the education of what and why to do, and then the backside how is the execution. If you can teach people how to get what they want, watch what happens for your business. And through that process, it's not just about understanding what people want and helping them identify how to get there. You got to outline, hey, if you want this, if you want to see this happen for yourself, whether it's a partner conversation or a client conversation, you need to outline what they need to know, needs to happen in order for this to become realistic. You're bringing in raw material to your business. So you need to digest, understand who you work with, who do you not work with, and why on the client and partner side, and be effectively able to communicate that to people, in the open marketplace, in one-on-one conversations, etc. And then also you need to have expectations for yourself, expectations for your clients, expectations for your partners. And then in those early conversations, lay out those expectations. If a client or a partner can't fall into the expectations, they give you a reason why they can't, that's a disqualifier. So everything that we do through the process is always constantly disqualifying the wrong parties and further qualifying the right parties. If you're bringing people in on the client and the partner side, the very first thing that we need to have a conversation about is we need to stop doing what doesn't work. If your client or your partner has continuously done something over weeks, months, or years, it's not working, we need to draw a line in the sand and understand, hey, this is what you've been doing. This is why it doesn't work. We need to make a commitment that we're going to stop doing this because it's not working. And then especially on the partner side, this isn't a business where we just sit on our hands and we wait and we're reactive to things. We have to be proactive in the marketplace. So stop waiting for things to happen and go out and make them happen. Execution. This is the final kind of layer that's going to determine whether somebody's going to be successful. They can have a great plan of action, but if there's no execution, that plan of action is just a wish. So the execution is the part that's going to make it happen. And you have to be able to execute for yourself. And then once you teach yourself how to execute in a meaningful way, Teach your partners and teach your clients. It's about paying it forward because once again, if you, and this is one of the best examples I know, if you opened a savings account and never put money into it and then went to that savings account and expecting to draw out $10,000, bank's going to laugh at you. Balance is zero, right? Same thing occurs in a business like ours. If you're not having contacts, if you're not having communication, you're not out there networking, marketing, you're not putting any time investment into your business, how can you ever expect anything to be on the backside? Partners, clients, revenue, income growth, all the things that you're looking for. There is an input of energy into this business. And if it's not there, then you have no business. You have to be focused. And once again, this is all about teaching yourself the things that you're going to be teaching other people, whether it's a client or whether it's a partner. They also need to be focused. They need to stick to the plan and they need to stay focused on what they need to do right here and right now, understanding how those are stepping stones leading them to longer term goals. And then one of the last things that we have to deal with on an individual level, and then we have to walk other people through on the partner and client side, is frustration. Everybody gets frustrated. Everybody has bad days, bad periods of time. If you let those periods just create so much negativity, then you're going not be able to get outside that bubble. And what I tell partners on your bad days is take an aerial view. Don't get locked in the trenches of your day-to-day business. Every once in a while, take an aerial view and see there is growth happening. It may not be the best day, the best week right now, but there is growth happening. And just like I can have frustrating parts or times in my business, I can also have times where things are abundant, things are really working, things are clicking for me. So reset at the times of frustration and build on the times of momentum. Agency in motion, building, operating, and managing agencies in the 21st century.